What's up, guys? Wow. What a day. What a day, right? It was I'm right now, it's in the middle of the night, gathering all my thoughts. So excited of everything I just saw and so excited for everything I'm about to see. We all thought Mexican Independence Day 9/14 that was going to be the day, right? UFC 306, the Sphere, Canelo Alvarez, the big fight. I'm here in Las Vegas, if you could see, literally in my hotel room. And we all thought that was going to be the day. But wild to say that today or yesterday now, because it's in the middle of the night, 9/13, the Friday, maybe stole the show. Absolutely stole the show. I guess let's kind of start from the top and work our way down. Got five big things to talk about. Let's go right away with it, guys. The big news of the day was Michael Chandler. It's been this saga for 18 months, 14 months of Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor and the Ultimate Fighter. When they announced that, I was like, whoa, okay. Like really elevated Michael Chandler, because when Conor McGregor was off for multiple years, this was going to be his first big UFC fight back. Who was he going to fight, right? That was the big thing. Who was he going to fight? When they made Tough 31 and they did it against Michael Chandler, that really elevated Michael Chandler into that next galaxy, that Poirier, that the biggest guys in the name, biggest names in all the UFC. So that fight was going to happen multiple times, right? We saw the fight poster on June 29th. It's so funny because I really thought when they did Tough and such a big responsibility and such a big, marketing machine the Ultimate Fighter is, and they gave Conor and they gave Chandler that, you're going to follow through on it. The UFC doesn't want to waste time, energy, and more importantly, money. So when they made that, I was like, okay, it's going to happen. I thought it was going to happen. Then we all saw June 29th. We saw the fight poster, pretty weak fight poster, by the way. All you need is Conor and Chandler, their flags, or just a plain black slate. But there was, remember that green, yellowy fight poster of their face. June 29th. We all know what that was. A week or two out, the pinky toe, Conor pulls out. That was a lot of drama. We all thought maybe even Chandler was going to stay on that card. And it's so funny that Oliveira was a name that was thrown out even back then in June. A little foreshadowing for what to come just today. So that fight now doesn't happen. There's multiple rumors that it could even happen at the Sphere. Of course, there was even rumors that could happen at 300. There was then big major rumors that it was going to happen, not in the New York card, because that we all know Bones and Stipe, that's the main event. That's about to be announced here in 10 hours. But we all thought it could end the year. UFC 310, Las Vegas, Nevada. They could main event with Conor and Chandler. That's where I thought we were at. It's kind of funny. I saw personally Michael Chandler not once but twice. My brother and I saw him in Nashville when he was in the corner for one of his teammates for the PFL. Then it's funny. I saw him this morning in the hotel, staying at Resort World. Saw him this morning. Talked to him for a quick minute, and I don't know. I just didn't even think to ask him anything of that nature. It was just saying hey, right? Just cordial highs. It's very cool. Let me put this Michael Chandler news. There you go. Look at that. Fancy us, right? So just wild that right before the weigh-ins, and we're gonna get to that. We're going. It's part of the day. It kind of the news breaks that Chandler's done. Like Chandler is done waiting on Conor McGregor. He even did a little Instagram little live, or he even tweeted it out and kind of was like, he's the most unreliable person in mixed martial arts and he needs to move on. He's a fighter and there's other aspirations, there's other goals. The McGregor thing could happen in 2025, and we'll get to that in a second. But Michael Chandler wants to move forward, onward and upward. See at the top, right? So the news kind of broke first that Conor and Chandler was off, and Michael Chandler was moving on, and Conor's next fight was not going to be Chandler. That was like the first news that was out there. Dana White was talking with Barstool Sports. Then very quickly, that broke. I bet you the UFC saw that. The UFC didn't like it. I'm not too sure why. There's a lot of, I think, moving parts behind it. Maybe they really want still Chandler and McGregor, but maybe they just want it in the spring of 2025, and Chandler's done with that. Maybe even later, maybe if it's International Fight Week and Chandler's like, I'm not waiting again for another International Fight Week. Imagine if that doesn't happen. So with all that being said, boom, we get it. We get Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira 2, the rematch. I don't know if you guys remember, great fight, really, really fun fight. It was for the lightweight championship. That was the run that Charles Oliveira do Bronx had, one of the great runs in the UFC lightweight history. And I don't know if you guys remember, in that first round, late in the first round, Michael Chandler had him beat. Michael Chandler had Oliveira done to rights. So I'm very, very pumped for this matchup. I think it's the right matchup. Both guys are one fight away from whatever they want. If it's the UFC lightweight championship match against Islam, a Conor fight, the Dustin retirement match, whatever the fight is, the winner of Oliveira Chandler gets that fight, whatever fight they want. So I think that's really cool, and I think it's good for the division. Let's get it going. If Islam's going to fight Arman Sarukian December, January, or February, let's have the title fight. And now in November, we're going to have the number one contendership fight. That's what you need to do. You need to have your top 4, top 6 guys fighting. And that's what Michael Chandler decided to do. So that's the Chandler side of it. Let's really quickly go to Oliveira before we go to Conor. And like I said, we're going to go with the Canelo and the Sphere. Like I said, amazing day, guys. 9-13-24. Kind of cool for Charles Oliveira. I think Charles Oliveira, this is a big spot, marquee spot, 5-round co-main event, New York City, Madison Square Garden. And let's just call a spade here too, guys. Anything funky can happen in that main event for the UFC heavyweight championship with Bones and Stipe and Aspinall. Let's see what happens there. So Oliveira gets that co-main event spot. Big spot for him too. His name was the name that's been lost in the last 4-6 months. Hooker's been on fire. Chandler and Conor's been talked about forever. Arman looks like it's going to get the title fight. Lost that really close decision to, Charles lost it to Arman. So I think it's perfect, a perfect match and a perfect spot for Charles Oliveira to say, put his flag back into the lightweight division, the big fight division, the big money fight division. Whatever he wants is in front of him now. Whatever he beats Michael Chandler, the world's his oyster. He can go against Conor McGregor. He can fight Gaethje or Poirier if that's the fight. Max Holloway, any fight he wants, or maybe Islam Makhachev in the summer of 2025. So that's Oliveira. All right, let's get to Conor McGregor. Let's get him. Finally, we get to Conor. I will take the L on this one. I thought that he was going to fight for a long time, for 12 months now. He has not. And not even that. I still think it was going to happen until today. I really think that we might not ever see Conor McGregor in the UFC octagon again. It's getting too loud and too crazy and too visceral. The UFC is having the biggest weekend of their year, right? They're at the Sphere. I'm here in Vegas. The town is buzzing. There's so many people and fighters around. It's just the town is filled. Positive mojo. It's the biggest star. Sugar Sean O'Malley's on the card. We got Alex Pereira's on the next main event. Jones is back. Islam's going to be coming back very soon. Where was Conor McGregor? Conor McGregor was in South Florida in front of a couple hundred people for a bare knuckle fighting championship. Like, I just think that's what he's doing. I don't think the UFC loves it. This is called that. The spade is spade. When you're under the UFC umbrella, they spend a lot of money advertising you, promoting you, pushing you, and they know, the UFC knows that Conor McGregor's taking all that energy, all that momentum, all that money, popularity, all that, and is going this way to the bare knuckle fighting championship. And I don't think they like it. I almost think in a way they like putting him on the shelf. Why do you want to main event a pay-per-view with him, who will be talking nothing about bare knuckle fighting championship? And if he wins, God forbid, if he wins, he's going to take the shine off of a Oliveira, a Chandler, a Poirier, a Gaethje, whoever you want to say in that spot, fighter A, and move forward to game bred bare knuckle in Wichita, like bare knuckle and Albuquerque. Like, I just don't think the UFC likes it. I really don't. Just plain out. I run a business. I just gonna be brutally honest. It's when you advertise for another company, it's I don't like it. And the UFC is one of the biggest companies in the world, and I feel like people pony up to them all the time. So I feel like there's definitely feelings, there's definitely remorse on the UFC side with Conor. All right, so that's that. Let me hit the one more little news, and then let's go to the two weigh-ins. I'm here live in Vegas. I literally am looking at the Sphere right now. It's incredible. But the one last news I wanted to get to was Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje came out, said, "Hey, there's four possible names for me." He's golfing. It's so funny. He's a avid golfer. He named four opponents: Oliveira, one of them, Hooker. Could be the one. Of course, it was Volkanovski, which is kind of becoming a little tricky lightweight one. That I'm kind of intrigued with that one too. And of course, the fourth one is Dustin Poirier. And like I said, with there's no doubt about it. We had Elle Dawson kind of broke some news with Poirier about Colby Covington. That's the fight. That is the fight that I think Dustin maybe wants more than any fight. Even the championship fight. I think Dustin wants the trilogy against Gaethje, and to one way or another, there's a winner and a loser of this trilogy. And I think Poirier can honestly really kind of wipe his hands and just move forward. And I think that's the fight to make. But the Gaethje Hooker fight is very, very intriguing. I'm not too sure about the Gaethje Volkanovski fight. I just don't know where that lies in the division. What does that do for Gaethje? Would Gaethje still be another big fight away? What does that do for Volkanovski? Is he going to become a lightweight? We know Ortega's coming up to a lightweight division. He said that. So I think Ortega can be more in that mix than Volkanovski. So, yeah, I'm very intrigued to see who the next opponent. I'm assuming it's going to be Poirier, because I don't think Poirier wants to do the quadrilogy with Conor. I think there's just too much nonsense there, and even Poirier doesn't want to be pulling at the strings like what Chandler's done for 14, 15 months. So I think Gaethje, Poirier, I hate to say, guys, they don't have a main event for UFC 310. Is it going to be Bilal versus Shavkat? It could. They could do Bilal and Shavkat, Pantoja title fight. They could do, a couple fights like that, another really, really high-end fight, and kind of squeeze something together. But they don't have something for UFC 310. That could be Poirier and Gaethje, and that could be Dustin Poirier's swan song. So there's that. All right, so that's all the news. Chandler, Oliveira, McGregor, Poirier, Gaethje. I told you it was a big day. Let's get into it. 14 minutes. Like I said, I'm looking at the Sphere literally right there. Incredible room, incredible view of Las Vegas. And I was there at the UFC 306 ceremony weigh-ins. And it's been talked about for a long time, and we're so excited about what's going to happen tonight for UFC 306, and about the love letter to Mexico and the Sphere and what it's going to look like. Guys, it's incredible. Like, whatever you think it is, or whatever if you haven't been here and seen it and touched it and felt it and walked to the Sphere, it's everything and more. Like I said, I'm looking at it now, and it doesn't, from afar, it doesn't look as big as it is. It doesn't look massive. But when you walk to it, when you're standing next to it, you're like an ant. It is extraordinary. And then the visuals, we all know 4K and 3D and 1080 and all that stuff. The clearness and the colors that comes off the Sphere is incredible. So that backdrop, so they did the weigh-ins, ceremony weigh-ins. If you guys are watching this, you've seen, they had a nice stage, beautiful, artwork and everything of that side. But then behind it was the Sphere, and that's the show. Like, it is what it is. I hate to say it. We got Lopez and Ortega. We got Valentina and Grasso. And then, of course, we got Sugar Sean O'Malley and Marab. We have, to me, three really, really high-end fights. The rest of the card is, to be honest, I've said this for a while, but those three fights are phenomenal. But no doubt about it, the main event of UFC 306 is the Sphere. The show is the Sphere. It's incredible. If you haven't been here to Las Vegas, come out here, see it, go see a show there, just go walk it. It is one of those things. It is a wonder of the world. It is everything and more. So hats off to the UFC, the Sphere. Cannot wait to watch it tonight. I'll be watching it on my iPhone. Why I'll be watching it on my iPhone? Because I will be live. We are covering the Canelo Alvarez Berlanga fight here, Mexican Independence Day. Boxing's been really, really good for us in Fight Bananas. I was at the Tank Davis fight just a couple months ago. I was at the Masvidal Diaz fight in Anaheim. And it's Canelo Alvarez, Mexican Independence Day. We've been here all week. Press conferences, grand arrivals, so much content. If you're on this YouTube channel, go check it out. So much on the YouTube or all of our social media platforms. But what I want to get to is, so I was even at the Sphere weigh-ins. I've been at UFC weigh-ins. I've been at multiple weigh-ins for every big event. A big boxing event in Vegas, the biggest events all through America. Today was the most elaborate, biggest, loudest heartbeat of a weigh-in I've ever been to. The Canelo Alvarez Mexican crowd was incredible. So they did it right outside of T-Mobile, where the fight's going to be. There was a great stage. They call it the Toshiba Plaza. Just a beautiful, because it's in this like really open area. It's like they call it the park, MGM Park. A massive opening. And I don't know if you guys seen pictures or video on our socials. Filled. Absolutely filled. Not even that, guys. The thing that I was most struck by was it wasn't just filled, it was filled by avid, loud, loving fans. It was incredible to be there. I cannot wait for the fight. Like, we're here. I've been here. It's been on my calendar for 2 or 3 months, this show. I was looking forward to it. Like I said, I saw the grand arrival. We've been at these press conferences. We've been kind of getting that buzz. We're like, whoa, this is something special. But until I saw it earlier, the weigh-ins for Canelo Alvarez, like, this is absolutely bananas. The love that he's getting, the momentum, the sheer loudness of the crowd was extraordinary. I can't wait, guys. Caleb Plant is also on the card. That's been this fun journey for the last 3-4 days. Caleb Plant and an undefeated guy named McGumpy. They've been jawing at each other, so that's a fun fight, guys. Caleb Plant, by the way, he's a star. Everyone around it, all the other fighters and boxers have been very, very they're looking forward to that fight as well. But when Canelo Alvarez makes that walk in T-Mobile on Mexican Independence Day, it's going to be absolutely breathtaking. I'm telling you, if it's anything like just the weigh-ins, that was just the weigh-ins. And you guys know this, when it's outside, noise, evaporates. It goes away. Under the T-Mobile, it is going to be so loud. I know it's going to be extraordinary there at the T-Mobile Arena. And that's happening, guys. We'll be there. We'll be covering the event. We'll be going live. We have the post-fight press conferences with Canelo Alvarez. I assume the winner, my fault. But we will be there all night long. And it was crazy. So what a day, guys. Michael Chandler fighting Charles Oliveira. What's next for Justin Gaethje? What is next for Conor McGregor? What is he going to do? The Sphere is the show. The weigh-ins for UFC was incredible. And Canelo Alvarez was insane. The scene, the noise, the weigh-ins were just you just had to be there. I had goosebumps. It was wild for the media. You can sit towards the front, and it's kind of, I've done that before. And if you don't get the first row, it's kind of hard because you're sitting 3, 4, 5 rows. So I decided we went to the back, and we had a great view. And I wanted to see the crowd. The crowd was massive. You're sitting in the front, all the people are behind you. You don't feel it. I was you're on you're elevated on a, on a tower almost, and we saw the whole crowd and we had a great view. It was pretty special. So there you go. We had to do this video. It's in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for UFC Noche. I'm so excited for the Canelo Alvarez fight. It really does seem like I'm witnessing history. It's pretty cool feeling. And but yeah, I'm gonna get going to bed. We're going to shoot this video out there right now on all of our platforms. We appreciate everyone. Guys, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to really generate some YouTube momentum. It's hard, but we're trying. Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we'll be live. Me, Maddie Levine, and Elle Dawson. We'll get some guests on that show. Huge breaking news with Game Bread Bare Knuckle MMA, by the way, November 15th. The fight announcements: main event, Costa versus Brian and Michael Davis for the Bantamweight Inaugural Championship. Greg Hardy versus Chase Sherman, bare knuckle. And Joshua Weens versus Jason Knight, which will be absolute fireworks. So that's been a fun announcement. We'll have a ton of that. That's where we are huge Game Bread Bare Knuckle MMA people here at Fight Fanatic. So there we go, guys. Chandler is fighting Charles Oliveira at UFC 309. Canelo Alvarez is going down tonight. T-Mobile Arena, and UFC 306, the Sphere, is happening. So enjoy, be good, and we'll talk to everyone soon. That was a good one, right? That was fun. Let's do that again.